The Maelstrom is a massive and ancient warp rift located near the galactic core in the Ultimus Segmentum. This area of space is rife with warp storms, so intense that stellar travel in the region is virtually impossible. It is permeated with the evil energies of the warp, which slowly poisons those mad enough or desperate enough to reside within. Within the Maelstrom is a region of lawless wilderness containing an estimated 20 plus orc empires, numerous Hrud infestations, and countless human pirate strongholds. It is also said to be the home of the infamous Huron Blackheart and his renegade space marine warband, the Red Corsairs. It is very similar to the other major warp tail within the galaxy, the Eye of Terror. Yet, unlike the Eye of Terror, the cause of the Maelstrom's creation is largely a mystery. However, there are a few possible theories. The first of which is that the Maelstrom is simply a naturally occurring astrological phenomena. The galaxy is trillions upon trillions of miles in size, and within the cold reaches of space, where planets can potentially crash into one another, it doesn't seem a far-fetched idea for a naturally occurring warp tear to be formed. The second theory is that the Maelstrom was created in a similar manner to the Eye of Terror. The Eye of Terror is not a natural phenomenon. The Eye was created during the psychic shockwave that accompanied the birth of the Chaos God Slaanesh during the fall of the Eldar race. The shock of the birth was so great that it could not be contained within the warp, and as such it spilled out into reality through the minds of the Eldar. As a result, the Eye of Terror covers most of the region of the former Eldar Empire. Other zones of overlap were created, but the Eye of Terror is the most significant. Considering, compared to the Eye of Terror, that the Maelstrom is a much smaller warp tear, it seems logical to suggest that the Maelstrom was created through the birth of one of the other Chaos Gods, and the reason for its smaller size is that the rift in space is slowly closing over the millennia. The main problem with this, however, is due to how the other Chaos Gods were born. Khorne was the first Chaos God to be born, followed by Tzeentch, and finally by Nurgle. All of these gods had awoken during Terra's Middle Ages, seemingly heralded by events that occurred on Terra as well. For example, Khorne's impending birth heralded the series of wars known as the Crusades, and Nurgle's birth heralded the Great Plague known as the Black Death. However, it's unclear as to when Tzeentch himself was born, or what necessarily heralded his birth. As such, it's entirely possible that the Maelstrom itself was a side effect of Tzeentch's birth, similar in manner to how the Eye of Terror is the result of Slaanesh's. Since the Eye of Terror occurred when the warp spilled out of the minds of the Eldar themselves, what race could have heralded the birthing of Tzeentch if his birth created the Maelstrom? There is one race that could potentially cause this: the Hrud. The Hrud are a vile and nocturnal sentient species, found all over the galaxy, although generally not in large numbers. One notable quality amongst the species is that they produce innate entropic fields from their bodies. This has the side effect of aging their surroundings, leading to objects such as crops turning to dust due to prolonged exposure, and humans suffering from premature aging. These time-distorting fields are capable of wreaking havoc on entire worlds during mass migrations, which are caused by the simple presence of the Hrud. Because their mass presence can cause time distortions or changes, it's possible that the Hrud could have inadvertently aided in the creation of the God of Change himself. As stated earlier, the Maelstrom itself is home to numerous Hrud infestations, a high density of the species considering they are rarely, if ever, found to occur in large numbers. But what if the Maelstrom itself wasn't caused by a Chaos God, but by another god being forced from the warp into the material realm? It's known that the Hrud do worship a pantheon of gods similar to that of the Eldar, including a smith god, bloody-handed god, etc. But in addition, they worship another god known as Ka, the Lingering God. Ka was said to be one of the last Old Ones who survived the war between the Old Ones and the Khitan. When the fall of the Eldar gave birth to the Chaos God Slaanesh, it's said that she killed Ka, shattering him into millions of fragments, similar in manner to how she shattered Caleb and Chicane, and in doing so, created the strange Xenos creatures known as the Umbra. As Ka is a major god of worship for the Hrud, it's possible due to the high density of the Hrud around the Maelstrom, combined with their innate entropic abilities, that they could have shattered the fabric between the warp and real space, scattering the Umbra from this wound in reality. Thanks for watching.